Hello, and welcome to Shirley Salad Podcast, Episode 6, August 2011. I started something new. I started a shawl. I was going to use this yarn I found in my stash. I bought it quite a few years ago from a charity store, and it was in two skeins, but the two skeins were connected by one strand of yarn. I don't know what kind of yarn it is, but I like the color, so I wanted to use it. I started to make a ball, and I ended up with just a small ball. And I thought, well, I'll try the pattern first. And this is how much I got done. And then I needed some more yarn. So I took one of the skeins and started to make a ball. And I got a nice size ball out of it. And before continuing on the shawl, I thought, well, this will ball up the other skein and it will be ready. But unfortunately, all I got was these little balls. Oops, stretching. I don't know if this is the reason the person gave it to the charity store. Some of the ends kind of look worn, and others look like they've been cut. So I really have no idea, but I didn't want my shawl, the back of my shawl, to have lots of ends. And if it's not 100% wool, then I wouldn't be able to felt the ends together. So I put that aside and I started again. But first, I made the decision to frog my Freya shawl. I showed it a few episodes ago, and I had to decide whether I wanted to frog it or not, and well, I did. This is at the point how far I got on the Freya shawl. I was just curious. So it's going really fast. It's quite a simple pattern. It has an interesting, or well, don't know if it's too interesting, but a new stitch to me. I thought I'd show it. I'm going to show it on the purl side because I'm actually thinking back at the moment, because when I did my first take of this, I don't know what happened, and there's a big mess at the other edge, so I'll show it here. So this new stitch to me is, sorry, you take two stitches and then you knit them together, but you don't take them off the needle. You bring the yarn from the back to the front between the two needles, and then you knit those same two stitches, and then you remove it from the needle. It goes quite fast if you were thinking what you're doing. Sometimes I realize that I haven't actually done the purl, so I'll have to think back a few stitches. But one good thing about this stitch, they go in they show easily in pairs. Don't know if you can see. So it's easy to notice if it's just one stitch. And I'm enjoying this. It's not going to be as big as it's supposed to be. I don't know what weight this yarn is. I'm using the correct needle size, and I think I would like it small anyway, that I can wear around my neck under my jacket. After I finish this set in this pattern, then there's going to be a new pattern starting. But I haven't decided whether I'm going to continue with this still a little way so that I can get it a bit bigger. That's the only thing I'm knitting at the moment, because I got the blanket finished. I gave the blanket to the woman whose birthday was last week. She's the one who gave me the yarn, and when she gave me the yarn, she forgot to tell me something. Or she didn't forget to tell me, but she didn't mention something. So I gave this blanket to her, and she said, oh, she could never have guessed how nice it would have turned out. She hadn't liked the color. If I had known that she didn't like the color, of course I wouldn't have knit the blanket for her, at least not in this yarn. And I did add the panels on. When I did the right side, I knit across, and then I slipped the last stitch onto the first, or the edge stitch, because I had the edge stitches on the needle. So I slipped the last stitch onto the left-hand needle, and I knitted them together from the back. And then on the left side, when I purled across, I purled the last two stitches together. And I think it turned out almost the same. I don't think anyone's going to bother to look at it except me. So that's done. I think I'd like to make another blanket, but I don't know what kind, and as I probably won't use it myself, I'll have to see. By next podcast, or last time when I said by next podcast that I have to make a granny square, well, I got my granny square done. I used the pattern that goes with this yarn. I used the 4.5 millimeter needle crochet hook that the pattern calls for. There should still be a single crochet edge around, but I'm not going to do that kind of edging. So according to the pattern, this is supposed to be 15 centimeters wide, and as you can see, well, there should be a little bit for the crochet edge. This is not 15 centimeters wide. So I went up to 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, and I didn't see much change. Then I tried with a 6 millimeter crochet hook, and it's still not going to be 15 centimeters wide. I don't think I'm going to try a larger needle because I prefer the texture on this. It's a bit more sturdy, but I think I'll stay with the 6 millimeter, even though it's much more floppy. There's not much difference in them, but enough. I haven't cut off my ends because, well, actually I'm not 100% sure that what I'm going to do, what size hook. Then I was at a store that has, well, mainly a grocery store, but every now and again they'll have different items for a week or so, or as long as they last. And recently they had yarn and knitting needles. So I went, and there were only 3 sets of double points left in the bin, and fortunately 2 were sizes that I was looking for. One is 2.5 millimeters and the other's 3. It wasn't until I got home and read this, optimal knitting with special tips, that the thought came to me, oh yeah, I didn't even think about what tips these needles have. But they look pointy enough, I think. I haven't knitted these sizes before, so I don't know when I'll use them. I just thought they were lacking from my needle collection, so I might as well pick them up. They're only €2 a set, so that wasn't too much. And I wanted a metal one. And then, oh, I forgot to mention in my next podcast what I'm going to do for episode 7. It's going to be to fix my mitten. I was supposed to do it last winter, but I never got around to it. It's mostly laddered, so I'm hoping I can pull up the stitch and that will be enough. But if not, then I have to decide what to do. I was thinking of knitting new cuffs for them, because the mitt itself is still in good condition, and I find them quite warm, and they're big enough that I can fit a thin mitt underneath if it's really cold. So by next podcast I have to do something. For my book review, I'm going to show you this book. My translation of the title is Twist for Needles. It's by Johan Nikoski and Christel Neuberg. I'm not going to show too many patterns this time. One interesting thing was the name of each pattern is a person's name, and most of the names are also nouns. So this woman's name is Hilka, and when I looked in the dictionary I found that it also means hood. And in Finnish, Little Red Riding Hood is Punahilkka, and I had never realized that that's where the Hilka came from, because I knew that it was a woman's name. So I like the neckline, and I don't know why I always look at the neckline more than the sweater, maybe because I don't wear sweaters, but it's an interesting pattern with the buttons. And it wasn't until I turned the next page that I realized one reason they're buttons is because you can knit this cowl and button it on there. I think this would be a good idea for a child sweater. I guess you could also try doing just a hood. Then we have this hat. It's called Tuuli, and Tuuli is a woman's name, and it also means wind. I like the slouchiness of it and the little pin that's on here. Then we have this Helka. I tried looking from the dictionary, but I didn't find a noun for it. But I didn't look online, so I don't know. So Helka, not Helka. Helka? Anyway. I can't tell you if I like this sweater or not, because as you can see, the grass is covering the sweater, and the only other picture of this sweater, if I get the page turned, is this one where she's in the shade, so you can't see what the sweater looks like. Then the last one I'll show you is this shawl. It's called Aura, which is also a woman's name, and it means plow. So I guess, wrong page. The plow is going up here. Yes, so that was that for that, and I'm running out of time. Quick. Something about Finland. Okay, in Finland, on your receipt, the prices of things in the stores are what you pay for them. The tax is included in the price, so you never have to figure it out. I'm not sure what other countries do that, but because I'm from Canada and the tax is always added on after, I find this so much easier. The tax for these postcards that I bought was 23%, which is quite a lot, but I never look at the tax because I only look at the price of the object. So my time is running out. Thank you for watching, and you can find the show notes at shirleysalad.blogspot.com, and my email address is shirleysalad, sorry, I'm just looking at the birds out the window, shirleysalad@gmail.com. And before I turn this off, I'll quickly look. Did I miss anything? I hope not. Okay, bye for now.